Welcome today to a very special video, that of Nothe Fort in Dorset. Weymouth, thank you very much. This is one of Sophie's arrangements that she's kindly come up with, so we obviously are going to thank the staff immensely for this opportunity. More specifically, because we're getting an opportunity to do this outside of tourist hours.
Yes.
So we've got this all to ourselves, which we are extremely grateful for and lucky for. What would you like to say?
Just to say a very thank you to the staff for saying allowing us to come down here.
In this video, we are going to be covering the incredible, secret Cold War history that is behind us. Mm-hmm. That of the emergency centre Cold War bunker that is situated within the fort. But don't worry, enjoy our mini history lesson. That's right, isn't it? Let's enjoy our mini history lesson, which is obviously going to cover the fort itself. But for us, we're going to take a look at the Cold War side. It's fascinating. Let's do it. Come on. Between the seaside town of Weymouth and the island of Portland is one of the best preserved fortifications of its kind. Nothe Fort was built to protect Portland and Weymouth harbours, with Portland then becoming an important Royal Naval base. Built between 1860 and 1872 by the 26th Company of the Royal Engineers, the fort was built shaped like the capital letter D, with bomb-proof casemates and deep magazines. By 1956, Nothe Fort was no longer required by the Navy as a coastal defence and was abandoned, then being subsequently purchased by the local council in 1961. The fort remained unoccupied and quickly fell victim to vandalism and dereliction. In 1980, the Weymouth Civic Society took over responsibility for Nothe Fort, allowing restoration work to begin. By 1983, the fear of the Cold War was looming, and unbeknown to the local community, parts of the fort's underground infrastructure was secretly converted into a council's emergency control centre. Designed to withstand a nuclear blast, the straight branch of the fort was converted into reinforced operations rooms, secure communications and living quarters, sealed with heavy blast doors. The UK Cold War Emergency Control Centre bunkers were designed to ensure the continuity of central and regional governing bodies and manage disaster recovery after a nuclear strike. The key areas and functions of the bunker included regional hubs of command and communication, allowing authorities, the military and government continuous communication, centres for monitoring radiation levels, assessing damage and collecting and storing data, and also managing essential resources such as food, water and emergency services for the surviving population. The control bunker at Nothe Fort was decommissioned in 1990 and has since been preserved as part of the fort's history. Nothe Fort is now open as a museum and showcases its many layers of history, from the Victorian fort to naval defences and the Cold War preparations. While some of the bunker rooms are closed to preservation, it's well worth discovering each stage of this incredible fort's defensive history. Welcome back, everybody. We are now standing in the communications room, which is in incredible condition, to be fair. What you notice is that we're walking, the fort itself is in the shape of a D. And we are, where the nuclear bunker is situated, it's on the line of the D. The straight part, basically, of the initial D, for basic understanding. We're situated in the comms room, like I said, which is in incredible condition. Mm-hmm. But the two rooms that we've missed out on, because they are locked for obvious reasons, are the...
So first you come into the control room.
Yeah.
And then the ops room, which is labelled as magazine on the door.
Yeah.
That would have been the operations room.
And then from this, there's two other significant rooms, which is the canteen area, and then there's the bunks.
Yeah.
And the bunks, we'll take you down there because it's important that we get to the end. So basically, we've started off with where the blast door was, the first blast door. Mm-hmm. We then go through, and then in the middle, which you'll see also, there's a sally port. Mm-hmm. And the sally port was obviously an incredible piece of structure during its time, but as you see on lots of forts, really, sally ports, but actually during the Cold War on this occasion it was actually would have had another blast door there to protect it. So it's really incredible. We've visited obviously Gosport before.
Yep.
Obviously slightly different. This is an emergency control room. The idea really for people, if you didn't obviously understand it from the history lesson, is that during the Cold War, emergency centres were tasked with the idea that the moment a fallout hit or something, or an emergency, like more of a serious emergency, they would be tasked with coming into this Cold War bunker and potentially providing operations for the external fire service, etc., depending.
Yep.
So they would be obviously trying to control as best as situation, civilian population outside due to either a serious attack or whatever purpose it is. Obviously we know that in these cases it's Cold War, but we still get them in modern terms as well due to whatever potential dangers there are. Let's not think about that. What do you think?
It's really cool. It's the fact that a Victorian fort has been repurposed.
Yeah.
And they've managed to put this bunker in here, and the condition of, say, in the 70s wasn't the greatest. So it would have been a good disguise.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got an incredible position, really, where it's situated.
Right ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You know, right underneath the fort. What's fascinating is that when you see photos, what we've seen in the 1970s that predate the bunker, it's amazing how the condition just completely deteriorated. And in a kind of strange way, not a lot of people in the area would have known that this would have even existed during the 80s or in the Cold War period. So actually, in a strange way, I think they've even put on their site, hidden in plain sight. Yeah. You've got this amazing fort that you can see from the top, and you probably know that they had magazines underneath it, but then as it was being repurposed, all of a sudden these big old blast doors come through and the whole thing changes. It's really incredible. Yeah. Really is. We'll take you now just to sort of show you the comms room itself, because there's still some relics of its Cold War history, which is absolutely fascinating. It gives you a really good detail of that. Obviously, we don't want to talk outside the history lesson. So, shall we do it?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the communications room, which we've been standing in. It's absolutely remarkable. It's just got that classic Cold War feel. And the reason why we can say that is because we've been in ROC posts and many a different Cold War site. Some we filmed, some we haven't. So when we see these old relics, it's really interesting to sort of put them out there. And for most of you who've probably visited museum quality types of Cold War sites, you'll be familiar with a lot of this stuff. Obviously, it's just really incredible to see what they've got in here under the circumstances. And you've still got that beautiful sort of, like, I don't know what it is, like there's this sort of vibe about the certain tracing and certain calligraphy typing of the certain things that are on there. But what's fascinating here is if you look closely, it says about a routine, didn't it, in December from Weymouth and Portland Borough to Dorset County, Maine. And it says about rapid decreasing supply of fresh food. Bravo, no problems. Alpha, most ration documents issued, no additional requirements. And then it said hotel swimming pools, golf, available for water storage, no health problems yet. So this was an exercise that they were doing. And obviously, as you can see, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, Foxtrot. And it basically just gives you a list of sort of almost coding, really, isn't it? And then here, you've also got messages which are handwritten and beautiful. I love, it's amazing to see people's handwriting. So beautiful, really. How clean it is, because it's got to be, really, as long as most people can read it. It says reference to Dormin. I don't understand that one, if I'm being honest. I'm assuming Dorset. Yeah, Maine. List of locations of non-local authority buildings to be requisitioned. B&Q stores, Weymouth Station. exercise. And it says the council depot has been broken into overnight. Large quantity of sandbags, bricks, etc., timber. Request the regional construction controller to authorise replacement of materials in accordance with message. Exercise. Really incredible. Like I said, just to see these old relics is just remarkable. I don't claim to know every single one, so please forgive us on this. but it's really good. It's just really, really good to see this. And it's great because fundamentally, this is, people can visit this.
Yes.
We've just had the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
Special opportunity, by the way, just to take our time, have a look, and just record it for all of you lot out there, so that you should come here if you're local. If not, you should come visit.
Because this is just a small segment of the whole fort.
Absolutely.
The fort is huge.
And the fort went through numerous changes, even during World War II, for example, and you see like a searchlight that's being placed out there. You see the guns that are out there, different phased guns as well, from Victorian era all the way up to World War II. Yeah. So I mean, it's so worth the visit, isn't it? And we're not just saying that. I mean, it really is. And you come here, and the condition of it is fantastic. Well maintained. Staff are really nice as well. I've got to sort of say.
And also, there's a paranormal as well.
Yes.
The ghost tunnel.
Yes, there is.
So, we won't go down there.
What we're now going to do is we're now going to take you to the last two buildings. Like I said, what's interesting about this, actually, I would argue, is that for an emergency control centre, it's quite small.
Yes.
I suppose, obviously, because it was built into the fort, you know, and it's got to be underground, so it's got to meet certain requirements. But I would argue it's quite small, but hey, they knew what they were doing. Yeah. So that's the most important thing. Let's go check out we can't check out the bunk beds, but we'll check out the canteen of what was there, and also the sally port bit as well.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hello everybody, welcome back. So what we wanted to do was obviously show you, it's a straight line, really. Behind us is where we've come from, which is, there's two entrances or two exits, I suppose you could argue. One from that side, and obviously they're delineated by blast doors in between, so you kind of know when you're coming into that section, because those beautiful, thick, heavy blast doors, and you're in this wonderful straight corridor. Behind us were the two buildings that we mentioned before, and now if we take you forward, it's kind of weird because you go past these remarkable what had been updated. They were obviously lamp stores, so the idea is you would have put a lamp in there for the fort. So obviously again it gives you this wonderful dating to the fort, and as we walk round that subdivides the rooms, you've got this wonderful sally port, and it does say that it was fitted with a heavy blast door when this section of the fort was converted into a nuclear shelter. This door was, as well as the other blast doors, 3 of them still remains. So I mean, it's remarkable really to sort of say that what we're looking at is this wonderful sally port, which just reminds you that if you haven't already known already that you're in this Victorian fort. And then we come through. Incredible to always look up at these forts, the beautiful geometric designs and the shapes that there are here. Now we're in the canteen, which would have actually originally been the engine room. So if we head in, this is where you would have had your meals if you were stationed here during an emergency. And it's hard to believe that this place would have had just basic tables and chairs, and there's Sophie. Just to put it in context, it's a massive room, isn't it? So it's a really big space.
Well, there would have been a few people here.
Yeah. But obviously the canteen, as we know, probably was the place of discussion. It also probably would have provided a form of sort of counselling for the people who were down here as well. I mean, it's not really a place you want to sort of stay down here long term at all. No. Probably quite possible as well, they would have ran, as we know from former Cold War sites, please forgive us if we get this wrong a little bit, but a hotbed system. Mm-hmm. So the idea, if you don't know what that means, is that one person keeps the bed warm. They take shifts, basically, so that every time somebody goes in, there's always a bed that's, in theory, that's warm, but it's very echoey as well. I mean, you're going to hear people's conversations, aren't you? But it's bizarre to sort of know that we're in this. It just really is. It's crazy. I mean, it's not the first one we've actually been to, bizarrely, where a fort has been converted. But yet here we are, and we've got it all to ourselves. It's remarkable. Yeah, there you go. It says Nothe Fort engine room. What it was. The room was originally used from 1872 to store shells for the fort's guns. When first built, there was a wall separating the room from the corridors at either end. Then around 1905 it was converted to house 2 primitive oil engines, and then, like I said, by that point, during the Cold War, when it was requisitioned, because it obviously went out of use. And then as we come down here, the final 2 things of note, everybody, is that in this room that sort of divides where all these, it's just remarkable, really. I really mean this, where these crests are, for example. You've got then, it says the Cold War bunker, it says behind this door is the bunk room for the Cold War bunker. There were 30 beds in 3 tiers, and people would have slept here for at least 2 weeks if a nuclear bomb had been dropped. The staff would have been tasked with getting essential services running after a nuclear attack. And then it says, we want to open this room to the public and we'll be applying for a lottery grant to create new displays about the Cold War, which is remarkable. And there's a photo of how they look. There's 3-tiered bunks on that as well, and then on the layout you can actually see that that's because I suppose because of the size of it, it's not that big. I suppose that you're going to have a bigger tier of bunks. So it's remarkable. That is pretty much going to go across most of the length of that before the canteen, and then as we come out here, this symbolises pretty much the end of the bunker. That is, like we said before, delineated by a very, very incredibly heavy, but actually wonderful counterweighted nuclear blast door that we've seen on lots of videos before. And then as we come back round, just so we sort of know where we are, yeah, there's the ghost passage, and this is to sort of symbolise where we've been. So that straight line, Sophie, if you can do a beautiful thing pointing for us, that straight line down there, that is the Cold War bunker. So amazing. In those separate rooms, really incredible. And then as you see, it just continues and continues and continues. It's really just something else, isn't it? And then, yeah, obviously, we won't go into this, but the ghost passage. So, yeah, remarkable. What do you think, Soph?
It's
just brilliant, isn't it?
Before, so it's just incredible.
Yeah, for context, everybody, I just want to make it clear. Sophie's been here before, so it's actually...
I love Weymouth, so I love Dorset.
And it's a nice feeling, isn't it, when we get the opportunity to have a permission visit like this?
Yes,
where we can take our time, we can just sort of like show you around and encourage you to come down here, because this is one that you can all come to.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you should.
Is there anything else we want to show you then? Or not really? I think
Might give you a little
might
walk
give you a
round.
little bit of a walk round. So yeah, we'll see you in a minute. we are done. What an incredible place Nothe Fort is. You've been here a few times, as we mentioned before. Sophie, well worth it, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Staff been really amazing, really friendly, really kind, really lovely. And it's a great thing for us to do, just to document this wonderful special piece of this fort, namely its Cold War history. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Well, what else to say?
You should come visit.
You should come visit, absolutely. We thoroughly recommend that if you're in the area, or if you like to ever be in the Dorset area, you've got to come down and check this wonderful place out.
Absolutely.
You need more words of Phoenix history, because history matters. And of course, we will see you all very soon. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go pow.